Welcome to the podcast, y'all. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate each and every one of y'all. Hey, Anaya. She always first in the building.
I can't
Anaya,
even see nobody.
thank you.
I can't even see the chat. Oh
You
yeah,
can't
now I
see,
see it.
you can see the
Hey,
chat.
nice. Yeah, I can
Thank
see
you
it
for
now.
coming, Anaya. Thank you so much for supporting. Thank you so very much. You gonna Welcome, y'all. Thank you for coming to TSM Rapper podcast tonight. Thank you for joining us with my special co-host, the one and only, the queen herself, Real Mamas. Thank you so much, Cece Pooh, for coming up top with me. Thank you for joining me. It means so much to me when we get together, girl.
Hey,
Shut up.
how you got me up here? What-
I asked you. What you mean?
man, I I I didn't know. Hey, Miss Helen. I didn't know we was going live from the TTS's the Locked In podcast, child.
Girl, yes you did, because I told you, boo. That's why I sent you the
That
video.
must have just kind of slipped my mind. But hey y'all, how y'all doing? How you doing?
Hey, y'all. And before we get started, y'all, shout out to Reverb Nation, the Replay Gang, and the ever popular Cloud Watchers and the haters as well. Hey, haters. Hey, y'all.
How
Hey,
y'all
y'all.
doing?
Hi. In the word of Wendy Woman, how y'all doing? um, that was good, wasn't
It was,
it?
it was. Hmm.
um, Sissy Helen, can you put the disclaimer in the chat, please? Because this little commentary over here is going to be something related to a child. So we're going to need the disclaimer in the chat if you don't mind. If you don't mind, thank you so very much. And also, before we get started, we have to shout out tonight's sponsors, Millie Moon Diapers for our Wiggler Wogglers and our luxury toddlers. And for all you first time parents and your repeat parents, go get your Millie Moon Diapers and use the promo code YOLEAKS and you will get 15% off your first purchase. Real mamas, how you doing, boo? How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I just have a question. Since we do have a lot of men's and women's that act like children, will that diaper code can that be used for them as well? I'm just asking for a friend.
Okay, I'm gonna need for you to go on timeout. Go stand in the corner.
Okay, so I'm gone.
Thank you. Go stand in the corner. Um, thank you, Matthew. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much. And before we get started, you guys, please like this video as you're entering the chat. Thank you. And let's not forget the man of the hour, Mr. TSM rapper himself. Thank you so very much. Well, thank you, Sissy, for putting a disclaimer in the chat. I don't know if you guys seen this video of a situation that I believe happened in Mobile, Alabama. Am I correct on that, Sissy? Because I know they said Mobile.
I'm
Mamas.
sorry. Yeah, one of my kids had stepped into the room for a second. I think it is Mobile, Alabama, if I'm not mistaken. Um, if you want to go ahead and I have to handle the situation real quick and just go ahead and get them started.
Okay. Well, there's a situation that happened in Mobile, Alabama, where a 14-year-old teenage girl was left home alone. Guys, y'all not gonna believe how long she was left home alone. I know some parents feel like they can leave their 14-year-old child home alone, which is fine. Like if you're going to the grocery store or make it a quick run, or maybe you got to go to work real quick and come back home. This young lady was left home alone for a year. For a year while her parents went to Pensacola, Florida, and it has been reported that allegedly, all this is allegedly, let me say this out there, let me put it out there, allegedly, that the mother was sending food to the daughter, but the young lady was going around there to the local store, that she hadn't bathed, she hadn't eaten in a while. And I
Mm.
forgot to tell you guys,
The
she was left home alone with 7 dogs, and one was found deceased in the closet.
Yes, I'm kind of surprised that school officials didn't see anything wrong. That it took a Dollar General employee to notice that there was an issue or there was something wrong. From what I'm understanding from the news reports, one thing that stuck out to me was that the parents did not want to take her. Well, they let her make the decision as if she's an adult. They let this 14-year-old make the decision that she wanted to stay behind because if she had went with them, supposedly she couldn't have take her. Two of the dogs were service dogs. Now, in what capacity they were service dogs, I don't know. I don't know if maybe she had some type of anxiety disorder, mental issue, something that would warrant that she needed service dogs or whatever, whatnot, whatever the case may be. But it just struck me as odd that they were just like, okay, well we're gonna leave, go to wherever. Boomer, and I know I can't cuss on this podcast, so go to wherever in order to work, and then the mother was only sending food home periodically, which it wasn't consistent. Which is why the daughter was kind of going over to Dollar General and kind of getting the things that she needs. So she must have some type of access to funds, but um, be that as it may, she's a 14-year-old child. They need their asses whooped. Sorry, that is ridiculous for you to leave your child at home alone for a whole year. To you, both parents, y'all both gone, living it up, doing whatever it is you doing, and you leave her there, um, in the home, deplorable conditions with feces and trash all over the place and roach infested things of that nature. You leaving your child to basically fend for themselves while you're doing whatever you want. Um, and then the fact that nobody, no family members, I mean, grandmothers didn't ask, uncles didn't ask, cousins didn't ask any questions. Um, Nobody asked any questions. If the Dollar General employee smelt her when she came in, come on, you gotta know when she went to school, when she's around other students and other faculty, they had to have smelt her too, or just seen any types of signs of neglect and abuse. So it just, I want to know why it went on for so long. That's what just boggles me. Like, how come it's just now she's getting help after a whole year of being on her own?
I think it's because a lot of people ignore the signs and really, you know how some people feel like if it's not my child, I'm not gonna speak on it. You know what I'm saying? And that's sad and unfortunate, but it happens more often than not. And I think a lot of people turn a blind eye to situations like that. And
Mm,
it's so unfortunate because our children, I don't know about any other country, but in America, our children aren't valued. They're not, and only time children are even recognized, I'm gonna say it's during tax time. That's the only time children is even needed or wanted by some of these reckless parents. And and it's the truth. That is more money for them. It's a come up and still neglect still take place. And I think just like you said, why did it take a Dollar General worker to recognize this young lady? And then it's just like y'all went from Mobile, Alabama to freaking Pensacola, Florida. Like what was y'all doing? Like what was happening? Like well, y'all couldn't take y'all child. Y'all had 7 pets in y'all home. 7
7.
live in deplorable conditions. deplorable conditions. And it's just like the neighbors didn't smell, you know what I'm saying? Like they didn't smell that. You know what I'm saying? Like like what's going on? What's the tea? Like that's what I'm saying. Sometimes neighbors you gotta
It's
be nosy to see what's going on.
I just it's probably gonna be way more to this story that's gonna come out probably in the coming weeks, if it hasn't already came out locally about the specifics on how all this went down. Because I cannot believe that not once no one reported anything, especially when it comes to the schools or any type of educational system. Hold on one second.
I don't think the young lady went to school. And it's so unfortunate because that falls in line with the educational system as well. Um,
What if she didn't? Even if so, if let's say she didn't go to school, and let's say she did attended school before, and all of a sudden when they decided to go off to wherever they went to, or went off to Florida, that she just stopped going to school. That should have been an alert itself. Because I know if my child, if you're a parent that has a child that attends the public school system, you already know they clocking you. They clocking you. So if you miss a day and it's not excused, and if you miss over a certain amount of time as far as attendance, you get a letter in the mail, and they're asking you questions like, such and such child has missed so many days, and can you please call us, or do you have excuses for these days? Because at a certain point, of course, then they have to notify the authorities if a child is excessive absenteeism. And us as parents, we can get taken to court over that. So something not clean in the buttermilk here.
and once again, that goes to our educational system because I know my babies is homeschooled, and when I tell you, them teachers be on my arse. I'm like, golly, the class starts at 9. It's literally 9:01 of y'all blowing up my phone. And it's like, can I get a chance to log in? Can I get a log 3 children in? Like, and it's just like a lot of people, like I said, in this country, children are lost. They are lost. They are not respected. They are not uplifted. They are not encouraged. They are not loved. Because I don't care what nobody say. There's too many people play about their kids. I ain't one of that people. I'm not one of them people. And people who know me and know me well know I don't play about no children. I don't play about my children. And it's just like it's so sad because this lady, this little girl was just abandoned. Just totally abandoned. And it's very, very sad and disturbing that nobody came to her aid after months of her living in this condition. And it's like, how long could she hide? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
the Dollar General worker said that she hadn't bathed, she looked disheveled, and it's really, really sad because it's like this little girl had, and could you imagine the emotional trauma that she endured, no, not only knowing that her parents abandoned her, but she was left in so much disarray. How do you feel about that, real mamas? How do you
I
feel?
mean, of course, it's horrifying with me being a mother myself. No one wants to see when you have any children put placed into a situation like that, especially when it comes to mental, physical abuse, emotional abuse, financial abuse, because this is financial abuse also. Because you have to think about it. If she had a service dog or any type of service animal and stuff like that, could it be a possibility? I'm just throwing it out that she might have been collecting some type of disability or something, because as it was mentioned in the chat, and I think it was by mishap, um, it was by mishap, I think, but I'm not sure, um, that she did have access to some type of money. So they might have been tricking her off some money here and there, sending a little bit, just like like when they send the food here and there, they sent her the money. And of course, if it couldn't be too much, if because when you balling on a budget, you hit the dollar store. I hit the dollar store. Uh, everybody and their mama hit the dollar store when you low on money and you can't afford too much. And I'm thinking that's probably why she was going there because she could hit dollar snacks, stretch it out, do whatever she had to do in order to take care of herself and survive. I'm not for sure if they own the mobile home, mishap, because I saw your question. But when I was looking at the picture that was on the news report of the small clip that I seen, I noticed that I didn't see. It looked at. I didn't see neighbors around or other houses in view. They just showed a picture of the mobile home. And if I'm knowing, if you've been to Alabama, around Alabama, quite a bit of this is rural. So that might have been one instance why things weren't caught because maybe people weren't in close vicinity to actually realize anything was going on. Um, but I'm just disgusted. But things that's been popping up on the media lately, period, just has been disgusting me, especially when it comes to children. Um, it's just so many things that I just cannot imagine being a parent and loving your child and just leaving them like that. It's mind boggling to me. Um, that this type of abuse is continues to happen, and it takes forever for our law enforcement system or just being on strong moral principle. I mean, if you're around that type of abuse or you see that type of neglect, not speaking out or saying anything about it or lending a helping hand or something. I mean, I just like I said, my heart goes out to the young lady, and I hope that they're not just throwing her in the system and she's just being stagnant. I hope that they are truly helping her because we've seen stories where children have been put in the system, they still don't get the help they need. And when they're aged out, they just left to win. They're just left to do whatever or to survive any way they can. And I don't want to see that happen to this young lady or any child that's being put through this type of abuse.
It is very, very disturbing. I have read a story about in my city, and it didn't happen, and it happened really right down the street from where I live. It was this young lady. She had 7 children, and all her children were beautiful, absolutely beautiful. They went to school, but the teachers started noticing like the younger 4 children were constantly falling asleep in class. And one of the teachers inquired, like, why are you so tired? Why are you always so tired? And one of the children were like, they didn't want to tell, they didn't want to tell. But one of the teachers were persistent in trying to find out why are these kids always tired, falling asleep in class? They made good grades and things of that nature. Come to find out that the mother was basically, what's the word I want to use? She was
I'm sorry for interrupting, sis. R worded one. The topic of discussion is that we were just discussing a young lady that was left um that lived in Mobile, Alabama, with her 2 parents that was left for a whole entire year to survive her on her own. So that's what the discussion has stemmed from.
yes, and the mom basically was what's the word? She was basically I'm trying to think of the appropriate word because YouTube is extremely sensitive and everything that we're speaking on is allegedly. We know that in that previous situation that the parents were arrested. So we're gonna say allegedly um, that this particular mother in my city, she were lending her children out for financial gain, except for the youngest one, because the youngest one, I believe, was like 6 months old, and the one prior to that was like 2 years old, and so on and so forth. And she got caught, she got arrested, and she got upset when the people came and knocked on her door, and it's just like in her mind, she felt like just because her children dressed nice, they were getting great grades at school, that she feel like she was a great mom. And I think that's the issue with a lot of these stories that we hear, that in their mind they think they're doing great parenting, that they are great parents. I think in a previous situation out of Alabama, the mom and the dad probably figured like, hey, she's 14, she can handle it. I would never leave my 14-year-old at home alone, and especially go to a different state. That's crazy to me. That's
Well,
absolutely crazy to me.
it, like I said, it just, and of course, with her being so young, she was not able to handle the responsibilities of a household. And seven
Exactly.
pets, seven dogs. Are you serious? She was
And
not
what
able
was
to handle that responsibility. And it didn't seem like they were able to handle that responsibility that well either, because it was so easy for them to pick up and leave. Um, so that I just feel like it's more to this story that we're not seeing or we're not privy
mhm,
to. And of course you're only gonna get but so much in like a 12 or 15-second bite. But at the same time, if the math ain't mathing. Um, and I thought I had saw a comment in the chat, and I think it was from you, Miss Pat, where you had stated something about the mother breast implants got breast implants allegedly.
mm-mm.
So wherever they were, like they was living it up. They didn't have, they did not care enough for this child to even check up on her. It was a couple of it was a story similar of to this. I would say about that I had read about maybe about 4 or 5 years ago, where it was a I think it was a Latino family, um and the mother was a migrant farm worker, and she had left or took off to go work wherever she was gonna go work, and she left her 4 kids home. But the difference in that situation, which I'm not stating that it was correct, and like I said, everything we talk about is alleged. So, and I'm not stating that her motive was correct in what she did by leaving her children, but she went to provide. But at least she came back and checked up on her children, and they were fed and they were clothed and they were clean. Her household was clean. Um, you know, but she could not afford the daycare to put them in. And of course, it was reported in by a school official that one of the children, I forgot what started the investigation that got her caught, but her explanation was, "Hey, I didn't have the father is gone. I don't know where he is. I had to work. I had to leave. I could not afford daycare. It's $1,000. So I'm sitting up here with 4 kids." So, but but at least, like, not making any excuses for her. It was two of them, mother and father. Um, they left and went a whole state away. Like, whole, how many states away? How many
Girl,
miles away is that?
girl,
Um,
I don't know. I just
if you
know.
can afford breast implants, you didn't send any food for your children or your child on a regular basis. You didn't have a friend or somebody to go in to check on her. You didn't have somebody that you could pay that was willing to take her in for the time spent that you were away. It's just a lot. It was a lot of moving components. And, it's
I,
just unfortunately sad.
I think, but see, the thing is, somebody said daycare is criminally expensive, should be free. Some countries do that. I know in America, well, I know in my city, you could leave your child home alone at the age of 12. And I know that's different in each state or whatever case may be. And a lot of people don't qualify for public funded daycare, and it's so unfortunate because you got a lot of children who are the eldest children, and they're responsible for the younger children. And I think in that in themselves is a lot as well, especially when there's multiple children. You know what I'm saying? While the parents are out going to the club, just leaving their kids home alone, just being reckless and irresponsible, because we've been made aware of those stories too. And I think in this young lady's situation, she was failed on so many different levels, in her school, education wise, her parents. And I just feel like, I just really, really hope that this young lady gets the help that she needs, and that she is placed in a loving environment, and that people will pour into her and not take from her, because we're aware of those situations as well. And it's just really, really sad and heartbreaking when you hear these stories, and then these parents be so surprised and so shocked, like, why am I being arrested? You abandon your child. That's why you're being arrested. You abandon your child. And I think a lot of people, a lot of so-called parents don't think that's abandoning their child. Because I can't remember, what was the reason why they went to Pensacola, Florida? I forget.
It
Do
was
you remember?
supposedly for work. I can't remember what type of work, but supposedly they left because they had gotten jobs or employment and stuff there, and they asked her if she wanted to go. And she didn't want to leave her dog, which was service dogs. She didn't want to leave her dog. So, but I've never heard of anybody having 7 service dogs. So that's why I say in some instances the math now.
It's not funny,
Come
but
on.
that's true.
Uh, but
That's true.
the math not mathing. It's just not making any sense. I just feel like maybe some other issues or things going on. Not only, and I saw the mugshot of the parents. Mm. That's all I'm gonna say. But mm, yeah.
That is
So
true.
it might be some issues with them too. And overall, this baby, she was failed. She was failed. But thank God for the Dollar General employees who showed
Yeah.
care and concern, and offered grace and guidance and assistance, and um allowed herself to be a vessel in which this young lady could actually pour into, um and to be able to talk to, because she saw a need within that child. She recognized that something was wrong, and she built up a relationship. She built trust with her, so that she was able to actually step in and to help in any way that she could. And that allowed for, of course, everything else that happens to transpire with, CPS or whatever they call in Alabama was able to step in, and try to assist her and help her, and start the investigation that, basically expose the parents for what they did.
Yes, and I just think children need to always feel safe and have a safe place where they can come to an adult and say, like, hey, this is what's going on in my home. Can you help? And I think a lot of children, they've been abused so long mentally, they think their situations are normal until they realize that there are people out here who will love them and help them. And and I just feel like, as a mom, as a single mother, my children gonna always come first. Period. They're gonna always come first. And I just want everybody to know. I want to say thank you for everybody in the chat that's engaging with one another. And if you're not subscribed, can you please support each other in the chat, as well as my beautiful co-host up here up top, and me as well. I want to say thank you as well for everybody coming over to say happy birthday to baby girl. Shout out to y'all. It meant a lot to me. It meant a whole lot to her, for sure. You know who you are. I thank you on a community wide for coming over there and support baby girl. Thank you for supporting her as she was singing. Y'all really made her feel so, so, so very special. Her birthday isn't actually until Tuesday, but y'all made her feel very, very special today. Shout out to you, real mama. Shout out to Helen. Shout out to Anaya. It's so many people that was over there. Ashley came through. And I just want to say thank you to you guys, because Senorita, oh, she's on cloud nine. She's on cloud nine that you guys
Yeah.
came up here to support her. And I just and it just means so much to me. What you say? What you say, sis?
I said, my niecey poo, yes. And like I said, you had, girl, that cat was, woof. And that, you had a lot of people coming over there,
I
people
was
on your baby
shocked.
girl.
I was shocked.
So,
And when baby girl started singing over there, I said, "Oh, okay." She was like, "I want to sing." I said, "Well, what you gonna sing, mamas?" And she did her thing, and
well,
um,
I appreciate you for having me as a guest on the Locked podcast. Shout out to, of course, you, Miss Helen. Shout out to TSM, of course, and everyone who came through in the chat to support and actively engage in the conversation. You know, that's very important, especially in concerns and matters like these. Your opinion, your thoughts matter.
yes. Absolutely. And just thank you once again for Reverb Nation, the Cloud Watchers, the Replay Gang, all the people in the chat. And we cannot forget our haters. We have to shout them out as well. Shout out to
Oh,
y'all.
especially the haters. Hey, haters.
How you doing? But anyway,
Child, I sounded real country right there. That country accent that I had came right on out. But anyways, bye, y'all.
thank you guys for joining us. It means a lot. And until next time, guys, I want to say thank you once again to Reverb Nation, tonight's sponsor, Millie Moon Diapers, and get your 50% off of your Millie Moon diapers with your promo code YOLEAKS. Good night, everybody. And until next time, bye.